1970's A to Z of football. Welcome back. A to Z football of the 70s. Part 4. I got me Bovril. We're at the ready. So we're up to the letter R. Oh, beautiful. So, the letter R is a bit of a delicate one, even in today's climate. So imagine, right, the torment, the heartbreak, the hardship of the UK's first, and I'll use this word carefully in its appropriate context, considering the timeline, okay? The Football League's first black players. So the letter R stands for racism. So, bit of history. It's on record that Albert Johannesson was the first player of African heritage to play in an FA Cup final in 1965 for Dirty Vile Super Leeds against Liverpool. But I think it's fair to say that 70s players, certainly what I witnessed, had by far the worst of it. I'm talking the likes of Cyril Regis, Laurie Cunningham, Viv Anderson, Brendan Batson, Clyde Best, all went through unimaginable hell just to play the game that they were shit hot at and very good. And they even got shit off their own fans. Fucking seriously. In the 70s, it wasn't a one-off incident, and I witnessed it, many did, to have bananas thrown on the pitch and various animal noises chanted in their direction. And that shit still happens in Italy, believe it or not. I think, was it Balotelli got a load of shit last year, didn't he? And it happens regular in some of the Eastern Bloc countries as well. So I think, arguably, nobody deserves the accolade to be called a professional footballer more than the aforementioned. They're just, any white player cannot comprehend what they went through, particularly, like I say, in the 70s. It was a shocker. Going back to Ellen Road, early days, 77, 78, I remember distinctly skinheads stood outside trying to recruit youths by giving them their... it was a vile fucking tat of a magazine. It was called The Flag. Yeah, they used to use football grounds right around the country. It wasn't just Ellen Road. It was south, north, east, west, wherever. They just figured that white youths might be easily manipulated. And to be honest, it was fucking wrong then, and it's wronger now. So that was the letter R. Racism. Get over it. Move on. Letter S. Oh, S. Letter S. We're talking strikers. Yeah, the big money men. The hardest job in football. Or to me, the fucking prima donnas that take all of the accolades for the 10 other grafters. So let's run some of these by you. You might be surprised at this one. Joseph Kevin Keegan. Yeah, not KK, JKK. Joseph Kevin Keegan's first club was Scunthorpe United, SNC-UNIT, HNO-P-E, UNITED, Scunthorpe United FC. Yeah, he came to Scurry. He had 124 appearances and only 18 goals, which is a poor return for the player he went on to be. So in 1971, Joseph KK was sold to Liverpool for a meagre £35,000, which, considering Scunthorpe 10 years earlier sold the legendary Barry Thomas for a reported 40,000. So yeah, It's fair to say KK made more of an imprint on football history than Barry Thomas, believe it or not. His record at Liverpool, from 71 to 77, 323 appearances, and scored 100. He scored a straight 100 goals. In 77, he left for SV Hamburg for a fee of £500,000, doubling their previous transfer record. Latterly, he played for Southampton and Newcastle, and finishing off at everyone's amateur favourite, Blacktown Town. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't even know if they've got a chant. Yeah. KK, I think he made 2 appearances, scored 1 goal for Blacktown Town. They were a non-league or an amateur league Australian team, I believe. Bizarre. Didn't know that. And then he thought, I tell you what, I'll give it a go as a manager. And he'd love it. He would love it if he beat them. Fucking idiot. So he managed Newcastle twice, Fulham, England, and Man City. His personal honours include twice the Ballon d'Or winner. In 1974, along with Billy Bremner, they made history by becoming the first players ever to be sent off at Wembley. But get this, Kevin Keegan's proudest moment of his life, inclusive of his football career, came in 1984. Yeah, you can keep your Ballon d'Ors, you can keep your European Cup medals, you can keep your league winners' medals. He got to cut the ribbon to open Scunthorpe Leisure Centre. Good old Joseph. So that was 1984. Let's look at some other strikers. No, actually, got a memory here. This was a classic. Back on JKK. Picture it, 1982, Ellen Road. Newcastle have got a corner at the Gelderd end, where all Leeds fans were stood up. God, I fucking love Bovril. One of them things. So, just before the corner was took, old JKK goes down like a fucking shot dog. Somebody had only thrown a ball bearing out of the cop end that twatted him. And he went down like a sack of shit. And he went on to say in an after-match interview, if I'd have seen it coming, I'd have nodded it in. That's how you dealt with shit in the 80s, wasn't it? Yeah. You didn't close the fucking ground. You just cracked on and made light of it. It was only a ball bearing, wasn't it? You know what I mean? Right. The highest tally for one season of the 70s came from Franny Lee of Man City. He scored a staggering 33 goals, which, if Rio Ferdinand was doing this documentary, Franny Lee would have scored 33, because can't fucking talk properly. Only one of 2 players to reach more than 30 in a season, the other being Everton's Bob Latchford. Yeah, he was class act, wasn't he? Wow, Malcolm! Send me bus ticket, Malcolm! Malcolm MacDonald, 75-76, Division 1 top scorer. And in 1975, he scored 5 goals at Wembley against Cyprus. And Malcolm goes down in the history books as being the dullest fucktard I have ever sat next to and had dinner with. A gentleman's evening, yeah, which by the nature of being called a gentleman's evening, clearly I shouldn't have fucking been there. But seriously, I got asked to sit next to him because the bloke who invited me didn't know nothing about football. And old Malcolm, he were as dull as fucking dishwater. Yeah, that's Malcolm. But he got 5 goals in one game against Cyprus. I think even I could have fucking scored against Cyprus. Dalglish will go more into when I do the 80s special. But he did start in 77 for Liverpool. Sniffer Clark, signed from Leicester in 1969. Scored 26 goals in his first season, earning him the nickname Sniffer. Yeah, but not in a Paul Merson type way. Or John Terry, for that matter of fact. He do half sniff around some crack as well, doesn't he? Anybody else's wives in particular. Or even Ryan Giggs. Sniffer went on to manage Leeds in their ill-fated relegation season of 81-82, I remember it well. To be replaced by Eddie Gray. Oh, Eddie Gray. Love Eddie Gray, he was my hero growing up. He went on to manage Scunthorpe and still lives in Scunny down the road, and he's seen on a regular basis at Big Asda, not Little Asda uptown. Old Sniffer is still seen at Big Asda, wandering around quite confused, saying, "Have you seen my FA Cup winners' medal?" Probably the best striker across the board of the 70s was Gerd Muller of West Germany. Yeah, he was sensational. World Cup winner and tournament top scorer in 74 and Ballon d'Or winner in 70. So yeah, he had a bit of silverware. What a player. Some great strikers in the 70s. Proper strikers. Number 9s, you know what I mean? I think arguably the hardest decade to play because of the standard of defenders at the time. Nowadays, your players are getting 35, 40 a season. And it's because it's basically a fucking non-contact sport nowadays, isn't it? It's just everything is there to protect the striker. It's shite. Although in 1929, Everton's Dixie Dean scored a staggering, strap in for this stat, 60 goals in one season, which I think that's before goalkeepers were invented. It must have been. Who the fuck scored 60 goals? And he missed a penalty. So, yeah, that was R and S. I'm just going to go get another bovril and maybe a pie. So grab yourself a drink, and when we get back, the letter T is in 2 sections. All right, see you in a minute. 3, 2, 1. Stanley, grab us another bovril. Cheers, easy. Right, we're on the letter T, and I said it's in 2 parts. First of all, you have to just give recognition to the top teams of the 70s. And they were Ajax, Leeds, Liverpool, West Germany, Brazil, Bayern Munich, and Forest, definitely, and Argentina. Although Argentina, you've got to dubiously add them because the 78 World Cup was almost certainly rigged. So there you go. That's part 1. Part 2 is the one that means the most to me, because part 2 of the letter T are something that are sadly lacking in today's football and just brings so many images and just nostalgia. You can almost touch it and smell it. So part 2 of T, terraces. I love the terraces. You're talking concrete meets metal, and even at some of the older grounds, wood, lots and lots of wood, which was highlighted sadly in the 80s at Valley Parade, the Bradford City fire. But before seating, terraces were just the bollocks. I used to, and I still do occasionally, go in football grounds when they're empty. I'm not talking like the Etihad at Man City when there's a game on. No, when there's no game on. I remember going on holiday trips around Scotland one year, going to places like Dumbarton, Dunfermline, Falkirk, Kilmarnock, and just going in and sat in the dugout, pretending you're the manager. You know, you fucking, come on, big man, get off your fucking shite. Yeah, I just, when you're there and there's nobody else in the ground, I mean, you shouldn't be in there for a start, but it just conjures up imagery. That's what I'm trying to say. Love the places. And particularly away matches. Some of the most memorable in the 70s that I went to were, they were just fucking, they're not like today's. You've got a section of 1,500 to 3,000, go over there, shut up, put up, stay for an hour afterwards, and then fuck off. No, these were like, get your set in there, there's a vast void, fill it however you like. Just fucking brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And because I was following Leeds, obviously we filled everywhere because we take more away than anybody ever. So Bolton, Old Burnden Park was a massive fucking place. And they used to give you one end there. And it was just, you got up the steps and it was like, fuck me, that's huge. And because it was Bolton, even in August, you knew you were going to get piss wet through because there was no fucking roof on your end. It was generally, there was never a roof on the away end. Swindon we got fucking wet through. One of the few that gave you a side place to be in was Burnley. Now, Burnley away was a bit of a shocker because you were surrounded. It's still the same now, Turf Moor. It's all terrace houses, so it's a proper, you've got to have your fucking wits about you. You can't rock up there pissed up and not expect to get in bother. And I remember the first time I went to Burnley, so there was this wire mesh, a really fine wire mesh, and it stretched from the terrace to the fucking roof. I don't know, 50 to 80 foot long, maybe 50 foot high. It was fucking massive, but it was really thin. And I thought, as if that's going to stop out. Oh, it did. Oh, it did. Within 10 minutes of kickoff, that wire mesh had fucking darts galore stuck in it everywhere. Oh, that's why the wire mesh is there. Check this picture out from the 70s of an away fan. Look at that. That shit happened. And you can't believe it. I can't believe that the darts football combo never took off. Chelsea away before the renovated Stamford Bridge. The away end, again, no roof, no fuck all. And it was last game of the season. They beat us, I think they beat us 5-0 or something ridiculous. And it was just hardcore and rubble, and the terraces were absolutely fucked because they were going to knock them down after that game. So we thought, we'll help you. So at the end of the game, Chelsea fans invaded the pitch. So you had quite a lot of hardcore to lob at them as they were coming towards you. And I remember the old filth on horseback come fucking stampeding across the pitch. Great grey horse it was, beautiful thing. Apart from it had a cunt halfway up its back, which is a bit weird for a horse, isn't it? And this copper come charging across, trying to separate the fans. And a fucking lump of concrete come from the Leeds end. I'd like to think it was an accident, but I think somebody did it on purpose. And it twatted the copper on the side of the head, knocked him off his horse. Which you do have to say, top lobbing. I shouldn't be laughing at that, no, but it still tickles old Ernie, does that. Let's have a quick slurp. And let's get on to another part of terracing that I really enjoyed. Scunthorpe United's old showground was basic, the Donny Road end. Fox Street was the away end, one of the few that had a cover for the away fans. But in the 70s, it boasted, get this, it was fucking groundbreaking. Well, ground making, actually, if you want to play on words. Scunthorpe United boasted the first Football League cantilever stand. Yeah, nobody in Scunny had even heard of the word cantilever. It was the first cantilever stand in British football and had a sideways sloping pitch, which probably why Mike Brolly's cross went in against David Harvey in the cup replay. I wasn't happy about that. I was in the away end that night. Oh, so, yeah, just great memories from the heavy clunking of the turnstile when it turned. That's if you didn't have a chance to jump over the fucker without paying. When you got in the terraces, do you stand in front of the barrier? Do you stand behind the barrier? You know, all the little sections. Do you fucking wade in the middle and get in the mosh pit? The completely inadequate, reeking, fucking 2 inch of piss wading through to go to the toilet. It makes my heart swell just thinking about it. It was fucking horrible, but it was absolutely brilliant. Frozen pies. My dad got a pie at half time at Ellen Road. Had fucking ice in it. You just ate around the ice. Well, pastry's all right, but with me it's fucked. Oh, and the Bovril. Not like the one that I've done at a nice tepid temperature. No, the Bovril at Ellen Road took your fucking roof of your mouth off. It was like eating a pasty out of a toasty. And then you'd get there and you think, who thought it was a fucking good idea to put that 3-foot wide pylon in front of me? You can't see shit, but you weren't bothered. You weren't bothered. Terraces. Oh, memory lane. Love it. Love the 70s terraces. It was heaven. Absolute heaven. So that's the letter T done. I'll catch you again in a minute. I need a piss. Go on, Leeds.
Oi!
You
can't vape in here.
Oh, sorry. Welcome back. The letter U is for unusual. Yeah. The 70s was a decade where proper weird mad shit went on and nobody questioned it. Check some of these out. Duncan McKenzie, lead striker, was famous for jumping over minis. At what point? What point do you know that you can fucking do that? You know what I mean? There's one heading towards you something. Fuck, I better get out of the way. Oh, tight area. I'll go over the top. Just, how do you know that? It's like a mate of mine, Belkey. He'll be watching this. I don't know whether he can now because he's an elder statesman, but he can jump over post boxes, pillar boxes. So yeah, look at this here, look. Oh, Doug, jumping over a fucking mini. They brought a car on the pitch for him to jump over. You're supposed to be playing up front, you fucking idiot. And he also used to throw a golf ball the full length of the pitch. Because you often have one of them in your pocket, don't you? Unbelievable. Jimmy Armfield was Leeds manager at the time. And he witnessed Dunk jumping over the car. So Jimmy took his pipe out. And he said, very impressive, Duncan. Don't let me see you do that ever again. Here's another one. George Best opened a clothes shop and worked behind the fucking counter. Unbelievable. Right, I do like these, the unusual hairdos. I mean, you could probably go 20 years into the future now and laugh at people like Sterling and them. But some of these fucking hairdos, check these out. You've got your classic comb over, haven't you? Old Bobby Charlton. Yeah. You've got Keegan's curly perm. They were aplenty in the 70s, they were. But, oh, what the fuck is going on there? 70s nutcases. Pair of them, look at them. What was you thinking? They clearly didn't own a mirror. No. And I would be willing to wager my mortgage that they weren't married either. Some other unusual shit. that you would never get nowadays. Check this out. Big Jack with a fucking tab on. Yeah, that's during training. Wow. Other players who were big smokers. Ozzy Ardiles, little Ozzy, Tottenham, was supposedly on 40 a day. 40 fucking tabs a day when he won the World Cup with Argentina in 78. And another chain smoker from the age of, I think he said from the age of 12, Johan Cruyff. 40 ciggies a fucking day. And he was one of the world's best. And he had, if that wasn't bad enough, that he's coughing his lungs up and king-size oysters all over the fucking pitch, he had 2 pre-match rituals which defied absolute fucking logic. So get this. Before every game, Johan Cruyff used to punch his goalkeeper, Gert Balls, in the stomach. Yeah? Gert Balls. Now, that would have been a completely different scenario if the goalkeeper was called Gert Stomach. You see where I'm going there? Yeah. 40 fucking tabs. Punching your goalkeeper in the stomach. And then his last ritual on the day, he would go to the opposition's half, pre-kick-off, and spit his chewing gum out on their side of the pitch. Dirty bastard. It's fair to say it was a much simpler time. Yeah. So that was the letter U, the unusual. Sadly lacking in today's game. They're all fucking dullards, aren't they? Right. The letter V, which is the last part of this part 4. And thanks for watching. Do appreciate it, because if you don't watch this, I'm just a fucking idiot sat in my shed talking shit, aren't I? Yeah, which chances are that's what I'm doing anyway. So to finish part 4 off, the letter V has to be Viv Anderson, groundbreaker. The first black player to play for England. Respect, Viv, respect. An all-round nice bloke as well. So, ta for watching. I'll catch you laters for the last part. Alrighty? You've got World Cups to come and some other weird shit as well. See you later, peeps. Thank you.
1970's, A to Z